Well, guys, Luke and I got some very unfortunate news that came to us this past Wednesday. Back on episode 15 of ours here, we had on our special guest, Dan Ewert, who is from California. And one of his family members reached out to us and told us that Dan is no longer with us. And he was obviously, a UPS employee, a brother, a father, a husband, a son. And the message that we got from his family member was obviously encouraging for us and her, even in a way where she said that, she was able to come back and listen to the episode of her brother on here where he was joyful and, cracking jokes and laughing and having a great time and being able to hear his voice again, in a time of, grief and sorrow. And so I'm just going to read this here. This says, Dan was born in Fremont and died in Castro Valley, although he lived most of his life in San Leandro. He attended local schools and graduated from Bishop O'Dowd High School in 2010. He loved golf, baseball, tinkering with motors, but above all, he loved fishing, and he was a great fisherman. Dan was a very loving and generous person. He was ready with a hand for anyone who needed one and never ran out of jokes. And I remember from that episode, he did have lots of jokes.
He did.
He was a proud father who loved his son Lincoln more than Lincoln could ever know. He was a veteran, a former Teamster member, and a friend to many. He is survived by his parents, Robert Ewert and Moriah Fry, sister Heidi of Arkansas, wife Christy, son Lincoln, closest uncle Kenny Evans, brother Corey, and a large extended family of blood, law, and choice. He will never know how much we miss him. So Dan, miss you, buddy. To his family, everybody here at All in the Delivery gives our condolences.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you see it, and it kind of happened. I'm so like, because a lot of times, because I've been doing more of the social media stuff on there, if I see like a message, sometimes I don't, because it wasn't somebody that followed, and sometimes they pop up, and sometimes you just get busy and you forget about it, and I just happened to see that one and answered it, and just when you see something like that, it kind of hits you like, I don't know. It's one of those things. I told Dave I was going to try. I think the thing that really, really had got me, because when we'd got this information, now that this episode's released, it would be almost a week, but it's, it's still a few days fresh. And I think just the thing, like in that obituary, and man, I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I'm really going to try to not break down. I'll be okay. But Dan and his son, I was the same age as his son when my mother passed away, and it upsets me because he could remember his father. I remember my mother, but I've always said it feels like a dream. And it's just like now being a parent myself, and it's just like, how much you love your kids. And it's fucking sad when, like, I know my mother loved me, obviously. I know she loved me. That's why she fought cancer as hard as she did. I absolutely know that. But when you're that young, it's just faded, and it breaks my fucking heart, man. And I don't want to, like I said, this isn't about me. This is about Dan. But that's all. I thought about that a lot. But it's just, we went back and listened to the episode, and when Dave said he had jokes, he did. He was so funny, and he was so like, and just, you could see even that picture, like lending a helping hand, going back to that episode and just listening to what he did, like, helping out drivers that were new and in training. And he, I remember him, as soon as he said the thing about him being a fisherman, because I didn't hear the whole episode because I started listening to it towards the end of the day. But I remembered after that, I was like, yeah, I remember he was really into fishing. And it's just one of those things that, you know, it's like something you don't want to, it's something you don't, as a podcast, I don't think, like, one, this is a situation you never want to be in. And then, but this also, it is also real life. And, you know, when you've been, there's a saying, you know, that you know, the longer you live, the more people you're going to lose, you know, and we've been, you know, doing this as long as we have. I don't think it ever, you know, I think in the, like, in as unfortunate as this is, we've always said, like, when people reaching out and talking about something getting through the day, and hearing his sister, you know, because I was telling Dave, you know, a lot of people save voice messages from loved ones that they've lost just so they have them and they keep. And, you know, just the fact, and this is just us, you know, this is something we enjoy doing, we love to do, but we've always said it's the listener base more than anything. The people that have reached out, and in this situation, you know, it's so, it is as sad as this is, it makes, like, as a podcaster and doing this in the cardboard community that we've built, like, for his sister and for whoever else, like, I'm not trying to make this, it makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, damn, he was so young and his son was young. And it's like, God, when somebody passes, it's tough, man. And, you know, this is something we never thought, you know, you just don't really think about. We just, and, you know, but that that's how life is. And I hate that he passed as young as he did. And I don't really have a lot more to say other than, you know, it's very sad, and we just wanted to honor him after, especially here, you know, the messages that she left us made it like, dude, yeah, she obviously cared about him, and he meant a lot to her. And that alone, you know, just, we wanted to give him a little tribute at the start of this, just to, you know, because this is how we started, was meeting people. And, you know, what you're going to hear soon from Vince, you know, it's another, just, you have these connections that you make, and then you just forget that we're all fucking mortal. And
Yeah,
it's tough. But yeah, we're very, very sorry. I said it to his sister, to anybody that would hear this, that would have known him. We're very sorry. Like Dave said, our condolences are with you, and we're thinking about you. But Dan Ewert, rest in peace, buddy.
We got to this one address. I said, this one goes around back. He went around back, boom, drove off, left them right at the stop.
That was after getting hit by a car.
You've gotten hit by a car?
I ended up drinking 24 Bud Lights in about 48 minutes. Drunken nomad stumbles out in the road and he hit me going 30 miles an hour.
So one other thing to add to that too is, you know, that makes what we do all worth it.
It really does.
Is, you know, like, he came on our show for an hour or so, you know, hour 15, whatever it was, hung out, and, you know, got to joke around with him, got to know him. And, you know, I'm very, very happy that, you know, his sister, you know, can go back and listen to him and hear his voice. And that makes everything we do just so worth it, dude. So worth it.
It really does. And I feel like we have to mention, and if you go back deep enough, I know it got mentioned early, but he came on. You talk about a fucking trooper, dude. His son wasn't born yet. His wife was pregnant with him, but he came on to our first Christmas Live when we did the damn near 6-hour banger, and he had COVID, rough. And dude, I mean, I was like, man,
His hair was a mess.
Yeah, dude, he was.
His beard was just so.
I was like, dude, your fucking
dude,
your fucking dedication to come on here was absolutely appreciated. Damn it,
Absolutely.
man, I hate the fucking gone too soon, man. It is. It's hard to. I'm glad we did this because we just recorded the episode with Vince, and you're so right, because if we would have tried to do this first, this would have been hard to navigate from, because it's like we were going to discuss the week real quick before we get into the episode that you'll hear with I said our very own. He was one of our very own, but he's still a family member, and still a brother, even though he may not be employed anymore. But our very own Vince Schmit. And we have, but no, like with Dan, like just going back, just to go back to Dan, it was like, hearing, I have to give the man, because of the podcast, there was something that I walked into so hard, because you obviously know that I F-bomb. I got to give this. If he was a jokester, I gotta throw.
No,
this
you
out
don't
there.
say.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, and I've listened to this episode the other day. So we get the news, we obviously go back, and I feel like we need to say, I mean, he gets brought up. He gets brought up in this episode with Vince, but we called Bobby and told him everything, because Bobby was with us when Dan was on and recorded, and but he had said. And I can't remember now exactly what, but I said, we have a lot of fucking deer here. And I'm driving, I'm working as I'm listening to it on the sound bar. And fucking Dan's like, do you have a lot of fucking deer, or are you fucking deer, or something like that? And I was driving, and I was like, oh man, because obviously West Virginia was a nice jab. And I even said on the sound bar, I was like, oh, touche. I walked right into that one. I was like, yeah, I fucking did. I was like, that was a good one. That was very good. But yeah, man, it does. As sad as that is, and it is very, like, dude, it like I said, I didn't want to get in so much, but that's what it was with me, because I thought of his son, and just of the age, and that really, really bothered me. I dwelled on that for a lot the day when we heard, and I started thinking about it. But it is to say of a positive out of something bad, to hear that, and it's like, yeah, that was long. That is why obviously. We don't want anybody, that's something we never planned for, and you don't think about, especially with somebody, he's younger than both of us. He's a young guy. And so, it's just one of them things, but in the unfortunate events of life, for that to be, it makes.
Yeah, he was 33.
It makes this shit. Yeah, 30 fucking 3. Way too young.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't even. I'll just say, as far, because we're about to get in, and I know we were about an hour and 10 or 15ish in Vince's episode, so I won't go too long about the week, because after hearing the news about Dan, I had a long ass work week. Had this not happened, I would probably say, I think I had 43 hours coming into today. Of Friday, like I was ready, I was cranking them out. I was already well over in the 40s without stepping foot, clocking in a minute on today. And had this really been any other week, I'd probably bicker about it. But when you hear something like that, it really, it's big picture shit, and you're like, well,
it is.
And long days, but we're we're here to work it. So I don't have a lot to say about it this week. And it was a long ass week, but the only thing I will say is I'm getting acclimated to the weather. It kind of got me yesterday. It didn't get me as bad today, but it fucking snuck up on me yesterday. That I realized I wasn't pissing for a long time, and that dehydration, and the cooling solutions weren't cooling. But It happens.
Yeah. Yeah, rough week, especially hearing that news in the middle of it. And I mean, just to cap that one off, Dan, rest in paradise, brother.
Absolutely.
Rest in paradise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this week was long, like you said. I mean, I don't want to be too long-winded about it, but it was rough for me personally. Like between my hearing that my kid got sent to the principal's office, my 7-year-old got sent to the principal's office at school, to him getting in trouble on the bus, to my 5-year-old complaining that his stomach hurts, and we had to make a doctor's appointment because he's been like complaining about it sort of like the last 2 weeks, and it's just like every now and then he'll say it, so it's like something's up, so now we got to take him to the doctor for it, but everything's okay though. We had like he laid on the machine and they looked at his stomach and through the machine, whatever they call those things. It's not a sonogram, is it? I don't know, one of those grams.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure either.
Yeah, from that,
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, from my kids, from personal stuff to then I got stung in the side of my neck from a bee that was in the back of my package car. It was fucking rough week. I mean, thank God the customer was not outside when I got stung, because the customer would have heard me call this bee every single name under the sun, and because it's still a little bump there, but but yeah, it was rough. But thank God, here we are recording on this Friday, and the weekend's about here. Any fun stuff planned this weekend, Luke? I mean, personally, me, I got the on this Sunday, this past Sunday, as you guys would be listening, we're actually doing a touch-a-truck. Me and good old Johnny Waddell, friend of the pod, past guest, also go check out that name and that episode. Me and John Waddell are actually taking a package car, if you will, to the Touch-a-Truck festival that they have. And for those that don't know, I know some people don't have Touch-a-Trucks. It's where a bunch of trucks in the region gather together and kids get to explore them. Kids get to, hands-on stuff, climb up inside of them, all that stuff. So they got dump trucks, they got fire trucks, they got ambulances, they got excavators, they got farming equipment, like all these cool big toys, if you will, And kids get to come and climb up inside. And me and John got involved with it 2 years ago, actually, when, it's something that is so much fun to do because it gets UPS involved with the community. And, they don't really do much of that anymore, I feel like. At least not around here anyways. I heard my dad drove a truck in a parade once. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't see that anymore. So, like, John and I were like, right. And John and I were like, we need to get more involved. So we got involved with the touch truck. We got one coming up this Sunday. I'll definitely have some pictures that I'll be sharing on the social media page.
It'll be the cleanest you ever see a UPS truck.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Cleaned by yours truly.
Nice plug in there.
We're Helsky Mobile Detailing. Go check it out.
There you go. Fuck yeah.
But hey, while we're on plugs, no, not that kind of plug, Erica. Get your head out of the gutter. Plugs, I'm talking about the Discord and the Patreon, guys. Listen, if you enjoy what we're doing, come throw a few dollars at our face. Patreon.com/AITDpod. We appreciate you guys. And with that said, we got to thank them, right? So let's give a huge shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you to Tony, Starla, Luke, Jacob, Jeff, Adam, Chuck, Justin, Brian, Dusty, Alpha 80 Swag, the Roland Rogans, Kay, and Center. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you want to come help support, like I just said, patreon.com/AITDpod. And Discord, like we said, guys, Discord, go check that out too. You can find both those links in the episode show notes. But something else also happened too this past weekend, which was pretty cool, or this past week, which was pretty cool, dude. I was down by the Hudson River taking my lunch down by the river in a van down by the river. I was down by the river taking my lunch. I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, I see this bald eagle, and it flies and it lands at the perch of the tree, and I'm like, oh, that's some, America. That's some America type shit. And I'm watching it there as I'm on lunch, and I'm on the phone with Luke, and I'm like, oh shit, like that's fucking sick, dude. I'm watching it, and then it flies down to the riverbank, and I don't see it come back up. And where I was parked, I'm about 20 yards from the riverbank, and so I'm like, I gotta go check this thing out. I want to see if I get close to it. And where I'm walking, the riverbank sits, the bank sits a little high. It sits about 4 feet high. And so I'm like walking, and there's some bushes in front of me as I'm approaching the water. So I'm creeping. Like I'm slowly walking in the grass, trying to sneak up on this thing to get a picture. It turns its head real quick, and I freeze. I'm just frozen. I'm trying not to move, and it's like looking around. And then it goes back to like cleaning itself or whatever it's doing. It had an itch or something. Its head's all buried under its wing. It's like itching itself or something, cleaning. So I take another couple steps forward, and I got my phone up, and I'm ready to take a picture. And it stops and looks at me again. And I freeze. I snap a quick one, and then it flies off. And I was about 5 yards from this bald eagle, dude. And it was a sight. Great.
It was a great picture.
Thank you. Yes, and it was fucking awesome. So that was the cap on top of the week, if you will, man. As was seeing the bald eagle there, but yeah, it's just a little, a little fun little thing that we get to see. I guess nature, right? When we're out there on the road, people get to see, moose and some crazy shit. So I got to see a bald eagle this past week. But anyways. Yeah, dude.
Moose always the psycho Sumio. I don't know if that's still his name or not on IG, but Tony Higbee, man. I swear, man, it'll be hard. You deliver in Alaska. You want to hear about crazy ass animals, man. I'll plug that episode in from time to time. That was a fucking wild one. But this was a great one. This was a great one here too. I don't know if we said it when we actually recorded with them, but I tried some years back. I think it may have even been pre-hiatus to see if Vince wanted to come on. It was a while ago, so I was excited we were able to work it out and get it done. And he was our first second driver we've had on now.
Yeah,
John was the first one. We used the reference of I used the reference of the prison in Dark Knight Rises. So if John Hilligus was that little girl that climbed out, then fucking Vince could be Bruce Wayne. As far as podcast guests go.
Hell yeah.
Oh fuck.
Hell yeah. So guys, with that said, I mean, you want to throw it over to Vince now?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Hell yeah. Guys, enjoy our talk, our chat with our friend Vince. Here we go. All right, guys, our guest today joins us from the Atlanta area, if you will. He was a part of the company for 23 years. Most recently, took that $150K buyout. You can find him on Instagram. He's got a couple different profiles. We're going to get into them. Also, if you've been on Instagram in the Cardboard community for a while, you may have seen the name Wasted 20s as well quite a few years ago here. So let's bring him on. Let's introduce to you guys our guest, Vince Schmit. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, guys. I'm all living this retired life and just, thinking about just the great logistical people like you guys just making it happen, just keeping the company afloat. It's no longer on my shoulders, it's on yours. I appreciate that. So I'm just hanging, man, just hanging out.
I've said it to everybody who took it. I said, I'm so jelly. I am so jelly, man. You guys are just so I wish I could have.
It's just money. That's all it is.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
you probably got somebody gripping their steering wheel now, Dave, saying it, but no lies were told. But we're still here. We're still here. Oh man, it made me laugh when we were during the week getting it set up to get started for tonight. And, you know, you don't think about it as a driver when you're in it, as you obviously know, with the sounds of the bulkhead door slamming and the four-way flashers. And I laughed when you had said that you were talking to somebody and you heard, you know, even though they're not technically green lights anymore, or they're kind of green lights in the dyed sixes, but you heard a message. And that made me laugh the hardest. I thought, man, talk about that's a PSD right there.
Oh, yeah, man. I hear people talking on the phone from work, and I hear that message from the center on their diet. I'm like, I can't, man. This is just, it's a trigger. Still
sweating.
Yeah, like, what happened? Can't be good.
I mean, like, you know, you hear people, like, you hear about drivers having like dreams, you know, and they're like, dude, like, I just had these dreams, like I'm delivering. I'm just like, fuck. I don't want to go through that.
I won't lie. The first week I left, I was still waking up early and thinking I had to get up. And it was really confusing. And then, you know, I just kind of closed my eyes with a slight smile on my face. So
yeah. I mean, you know, you get programmed, like, you know, we program our bodies to do that for you 23 years, you know, and man,
just flew right by too. You know?
I mean, I'm at 12 years, so it's but fucking who's counting?
Yeah, I'll be in my 20s next year officially. I'm in, as this month I'm at 19, but I do want to ask before because they're still so new, and like I was telling you, the only person that we had really talked to was John Hilligus. Shout out to you, John. But he wasn't far. He was 30 plus years in, and it was in a different years wise, like we were saying. You still had 23 years in, and that's so that's like towards retirement. That's not that far from maxing out, but you know, of your age. So when they had the first buyout, were you confident that they would have a second one? Because I feel like a lot of people assumed it. I didn't think they would have a second one that fast.
No, I'm kind of like you. I didn't. I remember that one. I actually sat in my kitchen for about 45 minutes because I was thinking this might be it, and it's not enough to really get me by for a long time, but it's like it was enough to just kind of gamble on myself.
Yeah.
And then I had to stop listening to people at work too talking about it. So like, oh, there's gonna be a second one. It's gonna be huge, and then there's gonna be a third one. It's gonna be huge. I'm like, I don't know. So I didn't have any faith. Like when they had that PCM and they said, here's what it is. Yeah. I kind of said, holy shit, you just called me out on my, you know, you're like calling out my bluff right now.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I really didn't think it would be that quick, but for the people, and I feel for the drivers, you know, but like for John, and I mean, John can't, you know, we can't speak for everybody. He had no regret taking it when he did. He talked about it with timing and everything with his episodes in his episode that he was on last, that it was time, and he has absolutely no regret. I feel for the drivers that would have been kind of like how you are with taking it now, that were a little less time in and not right at the finish line. And it's like, man, like I feel for them because that's a substantial amount more. And I think if they wouldn't have capped, or, you know, had the capping thing and all that there probably would have been another one next year. But.
Yeah, I have thoughts on that. I also have sympathy for, I knew a couple of guys that retired. Are they put in for retirement right before the first buyout?
Same.
And so it's like, oh man, you know, I mean, that's some nice travel money for you on the way out. But
yeah, we had two that retired. I think one was literally within a month, and I think the other guy was about 3. They retired close together, but yeah, they just missed it. And I thought, man, and I thought for them, I'm like, what a fitting way, you know, talk about a UPS way of doing stuff. It's them.
I mean, it's brutal. I don't know. I mean, how did you guys? I don't know. I put out a rant when they announced the cap on this latest one. I was mad that night because knowing I put in for it, but I was also mad about people that were going to get denied. because of a cap. And then, you bring in the whole union thing. See, that's what I'm gonna have to dance around talking to you guys, like dance around between the union and then company guys. I mean, we're all, we were all protected, but now that I'm out, my perspective is different. And then my perspective was very different when all that stuff was going on. So,
well, we've been critical of it a lot, and I feel like, it might not be popular with him, but we've always said, like, as far as the union goes, we pay dues and we're allowed to speak how, we can call it. Like, I'm not sure. I just feel like they're just, it's right in plain sight for everybody to see. And when you see people, especially you see drivers that had 30 plus years in that got denied. And it's like, they paid union dues for 3 decades. They're put into the pension, and you're going to, just because you're going to be pissy about, you're going to deny that when they, that I feel like it kind of, I get, and the people that defend it, talking about the pension and all, like, I understand that, but I feel like them capping that and not giving their members a choice just defeats kind of what a union is supposed to be in the first place, and I think that soured a lot of people. And when you see it and you see people that are, for the younger drivers, I feel for them too. Like for the somebody that may have had 5 or 6 years in and got denied. I do, but I think it's absolute bullshit for anybody that was 30, had that much time in, or even over 25, to be like, okay, you're gonna say that after they've given, how much physically time that you don't get. We all know what the job is, and I'm not going, but it's like you're gonna say that to them after all the time that you've had away from your family, physically, your body, all that. But I could go on a lot too. So, but
I was at like that night. Well, it was Easter. That's what it was. It was Easter, and they're announcing a 7,500 person cap on it. And I think we all thought the number was like 10 grand, whatever the number may be. It was just the whole fact that they were going back and forth bargaining when the union was saying, well, this is an illegal buyout. Oh, but we're cool with 7,500 people. Exactly. And knowing that I had already stressed for about a month and a half making this decision, and I'm like, so now I'm on the fringe. Like, I already have my mind made up that I'm leaving, and this is what I'm doing. And now they're putting a cap, so I might not get it. But then on top of that, there will be people that don't get it, like these other senior drivers that are in centers that, didn't have, too much of a staff or whatever. And it's like, well, now the next bargaining, going on between the company and the Teamsters, like, doesn't this make the union look like weaker because they're willing to negotiate on something that they claim was illegal and like fight? No, don't do it. Ignore the members that took it last time that are, telling you not to take it now. So I feel bad for the young people too, because it's like, what's the future like with this company?
That's where, and we've talked about that. Like Luke and I talked about that a few episodes back, where it's just like, really, what is the future? UPS, we've said UPS will be fine. They're not going anywhere, Teamsters, though, and the union, that is where I get shaky by 19 years from now when I'm going to retire. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's where I'm like, what's that going to look like?
Yeah, it's no secret that the top end of that company wants the union gone. Like
110%.
Oh, yeah.
The writing's on the wall with that one.
I don't think they've made it more clear than they have in recent years, especially. But
yeah.
Yeah, and we've said that too. Like, imagine, just like you just explained, where your mind is already made up. You signed it on the computer. You agreed to the buyout and that you want it, and now it's going to be like, oh, but wait, actually, you might not be able to. But meanwhile, like you mentally have checked out of this place now. You're like, I just signed my fucking way out of here. Like I'm out mentally. And then
very confusing.
And now you might not be because they're putting a cap on it. Like I can't imagine those guys that have to stick around now and after they've mentally checked out.
I can't either. Personally, I stressed about making that decision. That night when it hit midnight, I was laying awake in bed, just thinking, oh my God, what'd I just do? But
Yeah.
and then spending the next month waiting to be approved and then hearing that information. It's just like,
Right.
I'm not like mentally checked out of this place, but my mind is made up. So
Right.
like, it's just a weird place to be. Like, I didn't need to be working there in a way, because it's like, I should be 100% focused instead of just, on the fringe.
And as an outsider now, if you will, do you, let me ask you a question. Do you think with that whole negotiation and back and forth between UPS and Teamsters, how do you think that made Sean O'Brien look?
Not great.
Yep.
Yeah, he's things I gotta dance around. Like, now that I'm not paying dues, he's really good about not using his indoor voice and using 4-letter words and appearing to like be this tough guy. But then behind closed doors, it's like, we'll just kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think Luke and I have said that too before. Is he's got this tough guy outer shell, and comes out to be like a hardo, and then and then next thing you know, it's why is there still cameras in the trucks? Why is there still
was the thing, dude.
all of that? Like, there's so much
with his center. That was the first thing. And I won't get into it too much because I've said so much shit about it but what turns me off the most about everything was I really, really, truly believed in that man after the 2018 contract that got voted down, but Hoffa passed anyway because he said it was less than 50%, and then he got the fuck out. I was pretty soured back then. And was not feeling too confident. And he really brought me back. I really bought into it. And and I don't want to say that, he's still the president of the union that I'm a part of. So I'm not going to I want him to do well. I'm not going to say, but it's but just seeing the shit that has happened with like you said, that'll never make sense when you say it's an illegal buyout. But it's only illegal if 7,501 people take it. You know what I mean? It's
illegal. Why isn't it 0?
Exactly.
And then when did you come up with this 7,500? And then when you agreed upon it, what did you concede for the next contract to make this happen? Something's in there.
Something gave.
See, that was something I wasn't even thinking of that much, but now hearing you say it, that's definitely for some. There was a little bit of leverage, Matt, for sure, for 2028. However that went. Dude. Oh God, I didn't even think of that. Now
it's probably automation.
Make me more mad. They don't have to worry about automation. They already got that.
Yeah, you guys have already talked about all the companies I could bring up right now, but I mean, it's just a lot of, I don't know. It's just stuff I didn't want to be a part of, but at the same time, I still have tons of friends that do the job. So obviously, I want you deserve to get paid more. You deserve all this.
Yeah. Well, that was right before you signed on. I have just shit that pops up stock wise, and UPS is one of the stocks that I follow. And it was a thing of it, and it was saying that we're estimated for this year to make just under $90 billion in revenue. I was just like, man, it's like, we hear you the way the shit sounds sometimes, and then you hear $90 billion in revenue. It's like, God, I mean, I don't think we're not doing that bad, but dude, it's just, I don't know. And I'm not a business person. I'm not going to act like that. Maybe that gets stretched in a lot of ways, but I'll say moving past.
They didn't have money to pay athletes. Like, we don't have money to pay these guys to play at our college.
Yeah, right. Dude.
Nice new facility.
Speaking of, I got to bring this up because West Virginia just whipped Cal Poly's ass in the Super Regional game 1. We got one more, and we're going to the College World Series. And we were literally, and it's funny you mentioned paying because this is what it's come to. Well, we'll get into this later because I want to talk about the Michigan stuff. But we were literally talking about this at work, and this is how money has come into fucking college sports so just casually that it's talked about. So we're talking about this game today, and it was at noon, and I know nothing about college baseball. I don't know nothing about Cal Poly. I heard they're a baseball school, so people start talking. They talk about their pitchers, And they're like, yeah, they got 2 really good pitchers, but if we get by them, they don't have a bullpen because they don't have any NIL money. And I was like, motherfucker.
Right.
Now we're talking about, I was like, this is why we're going to beat them, because we have a lot more money than them. I fucking hate it. But I want them to get paid at the same time. But
Yeah.
I hate the way the system is. It's terrible right now.
It's not great. It's like the Wild West here now.
That was literally what they were saying. They're like, yeah, we have way more NIL money. I was like, oh, so we're automatically going to win. Like, we said, what the fuck? Why are we even playing?
Yeah.
And just throw a stack of cash on here and have them walk away.
So Vince, what we like to do with our guests, obviously, if you've listened, we always say, take us back. Take us back growing up, man, and then, lead up to how you got started with UPS.
Yeah, take us back growing up. What age do I start? Pretty much, I used to run that account called Wasted 20s. So to backtrack that a little bit, high school, all that, had my mind made up. I knew what I was going to do outside of that. And then once I graduated high school, didn't go down that road. So I just started going to college, got my degree in business. I was like, oh, work at UPS, Take it back a little bit before that. The first, not the first Iraq war, the second one after 9/11, right? That war breaks out. I'm working at a children's clothing place, just working in the back. And I have friends that are going off to war. I'm like, I need a grown-up job here. Like, this is ridiculous. And one of my friends was talking about UPS. I'm like, yeah, I could go sweat, work out and get paid to do all that. And it feels like a real, manly job, right? Going to college and all that. Get my degree. Let's go into management. Let's use this degree. I became a preload supervisor at 21. And with about 18 minutes, I knew I made the wrong choice. So, for about 3 years. Have you guys worked on preload?
Oh yeah. I did 5 years preload, so I was on.
Well, as a part-timer, right?
Yeah, part-timer. Yeah,
it's probably a little better. I'm 21, got my flip phone. It's basically like babysitting, getting people to come to work. And I'm just way too young for this shit. I'm telling my manager, I'm like, look, I have to make money here too. I want to get off this shift. I'm either going full-time management or I'm taking it off the street, hire to drive. A couple of hirings later, I had to go above him to the divisional manager and be like, this guy's holding me back because I'm good at my job. Cool, pay me more, or I need to go do something else. Started driving, told myself I'd get out before I topped out in pay. That didn't work. Told myself I'd get out by the time I was 30. Then I started having kids. And then, the golden handcuffs they just become tighter and more golden. And then you're 43 and the company's like, remember when you talked about if we gave you a year and a half of pay, you'd leave? Here it is. And I'm like, oh shit. All right, here we go. So, yeah, a lot of years in between.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. And, yeah.
It was the plan all along, right?
I mean, it sounded like it. You were like, yeah, how do I get out? And
just more ways you could just dig another hole. I'll get out of this one. Get out of this one. You're yelling for help eventually.
It's so crazy how fast time passes at UPS. Because I swear to God, man, it's true. When I first went there, and I've the center manager at the time, I'll never forget because he asked, being the other guy, how long are you going to be here? How long are you going to work here? And I was like, oh, I'll be here a year. That's how much I had left of school.
Yeah.
And the other guy said, I'll be here till I'm retired. He said, that was the right answer. And I remember thinking, fuck, man, that was so good. And then that dude made it 3 months, and 19 years later, here I am. But, I was thinking that. Then it just, after, I made it documented, and I won't get too much into my end, but I got a criminal justice degree. And basically what made me stay with UPS was my last semester. I was going to go into the prison system to work in the Bureau of Prisons and realized, they don't get paid that much money. And I basically went to 4 prisons that year. And the last one that I went to, they had told a story about a guy that was in solitary confinement. I was working at UPS at the time, and I'd been there for, about a year-ish. I was preloading. And they had said that, this guy wouldn't get out. And prior to that, they're talking about how they remove inmates from these solitary rooms that don't want to leave. And they look at me and they're like, yeah, we form up squads and guys like you, we send them in first. And I'm like, oh, well, fucking wonderful. And they told a story of this guy that took a shit on the ground and threw his shit at the correctional officers, at the guards. And I right then and there I said, yeah, I'm gonna stay at UPS. I'll just finish this semester out and I'll graduate, but I'm not going anywhere. And I didn't leave, man. And I stuck. But that was my little. But even then, I thought that'll be a few years. But it travels fast with UPS, dude. Just time, week to week, it goes so quick.
Oh yeah, I mean time is a thief enough, but at UPS it's like I swear it just goes quicker. I don't know what it is. It just flies by. It's like another week. Okay, I'll figure this out. Another year, I'll figure this out. Oh man.
Well, just when you put numbers on it, man, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and like I mean I've said it to customers too, because like they're like, oh, how many stops you got left? And I'm like, I got another like hour and a half left to work. It's like 6:30 already, and I'm like, I got another hour and a half left to work, and it's like 8 o'clock. I get back to the building, get home. My wife's already got my kids to sleep, so it's like you don't even see your kids at night sometimes, and so it's this. The time literally flies by. Next thing you know, your kids are fucking walking. Your kids are throwing baseballs with you. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, where the hell did the time go with this place?
Yeah, I think I had my first kid when I was maybe 5 years into driving, and now she's 14, almost 15, and I've missed out so much on. I mean, you can't have a life during the week, really.
Right. I know.
You get two 8-hour requests a week, and those are. I mean, I've missed birthdays even putting in for those, and offered to, talk to my manager across the street and stuff like that. But it's just
right.
No, that doesn't fly. But it's just rough.
It is. It is. It is very rough, dude.
Well, that's what my wife literally said today to me about, because she was like, she always complains about the 9-5 list because it's not literally the 9-5 list. You can work up to 9.5 hours and you still got to take a break and shit. She literally said today as I left, she said, I don't want to hear anybody. I'm envious of anybody that has a set time they get off work. And I was like, touche. That just give her a hug and go. But man.
I think about it now. It'll be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll be like, golly, I used to have about 60 stops left at this time. Still had a pickup, so the drive all the way back is crazy.
Yeah, so I wanted to actually I actually wanted to get into that a little bit. So with your route, what was the area like? Was it rural? Was it city? What were you? Who were the people you were delivering to?
I'd say it was about 70% residential, 30% business. So, which I still have to go and say goodbye to a bunch of those people. I never got to do that.
Yeah. But, how long were you on the route for?
I've been on it twice. This last time was maybe 5 years, and then I spent 4 years on it previously, last decade or 2 decades ago, whenever it was. But yeah,
hell yeah.
So plenty of time on this one.
Yeah, dude. That's enough to form those relationships with your customers.
Yeah, there's a few that I miss. There's just like those conversations you have, and it's just kind of a part of your day.
Yep.
I understand that, man. There are times I remember speaking of like union stuff, and they would say, like I would hear it. It wouldn't be from anybody, but it would say, remember these aren't your customers. These are UPS's customers. I'm like, I don't know. They're still my people. I'm like, I've tried to. I'm like, I get what you're saying, but it's they are. You have them special ones out there, and I understand when you want to send them off and see them. I do have to ask though, because we said it before we got on, and we were talking about Slammer. I know Slammer will listen, and Chris Slammer, we love you, brother, and shout out to you.
Shout out to Slammer.
You are. We are going to get into some. It's some dark wrestling history, but I have to say, for anybody that is around our age, I'd say all three of us, because we're all. Dave's not quite in his 40s yet, but he's close. He's creeping there. He'll be 39 this year. He's walking on the line.
Jealous.
Yeah. He. So, you delivered to Chris Benoit's house.
That is correct.
But this was when he was living there, and before and after. So when that incident happened, were you delivering on that route at that time So
I delivered to it before. Well, this went down. I was on a different route, like about 2 cities over, but then I came back. So I saw the before and after. Yeah.
I feel like I have to say, because there might be people that have no idea what we're talking about when I say incident. Chris Benoit, I know, I was like sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, I didn't even explain what the fuck it was. Chris Benoit, for those that don't know, he, people will have their things with CTE, whatever you want to call it, but he killed his wife and his son and then committed suicide. And it's been, obviously was a terrible, we were talking about it before, and I guess this was the thing, they had the tribute to him. And I don't know, you being a wrestling guy, did you ever see you watch the Dark Side of the Ring at all?
I've seen about half of them.
So Chris Jericho, I think it was Chris Jericho or maybe William Regal. It was one of them was talking about when they were doing that tribute after he had died and they didn't know what had happened. And, Vince McMahon got on Raw and they were, had all the wrestlers coming on. One of them didn't do that because they thought something was off.
I think it was Regal.
It was Regal. Well, okay.
I actually delivered to his house too. He's down in the same area, kind of.
Oh,
they were about 5 miles apart because they're all like the previous WCW people south of Atlanta.
Right. Okay.
So some of them never left. So there's a bunch that have been down in this area, but yeah, I think he was the one. I was saying something just didn't feel right. Like it doesn't make sense.
Since he lived down there, he might have saw. Maybe he even saw. I don't know. I can't say. People can say what they want to about his head, and he did a flying headbutt, and I understand that his head probably was fucking scrambled. I get that, but still,
sure.
That's unforgivable, man. I'll never, I can't ever I'll never give an excuse for that, but it's like I've heard stories about how bad it's crazy because. And this goes back to give another shout out to Slammer because he's obviously a huge Hulk Hogan fan. I don't know if you saw the most recent documentary Netflix released.
Yeah.
So did you hear what Hulk? They asked him the one thing if he could or if he would change anything, and he said, I had big arms. I could have just used a sleeper hold as a finish and not done the leg drop. And I think about that. I'm like, dude, that leg drop. As simple as that looked, that's what fucked him up so bad, was just jumping up and landing right on his ass. That was a big-ass human being. And that, like, something that simple, like, thinking about that, if he would have done a sleeper, he may not have been, he wouldn't have had to get 20 or whatever it was, how many back surgeries. Dude, it's insane. But
it's the same with Chris Benoit. It's like, hey, you have a diving headbutt as your finisher. You're just letting people... he took some crazy chair shots too. Yeah, he did a lot of stuff on the side. Like, as far as I'll talk about him, one of the greatest ever in-ring performers.
Absolutely, he is.
I'm not gonna lie to you. In person, talking to him, one of the nicest guys ever. Wanted to talk to me about UPS when he had a WrestleMania 2 weeks later. I'm like, let's talk about WrestleMania. But as far as what he did, also one of the just darkest pieces of shit too. So
yeah,
just unexcusable.
Yeah,
it sucks. Really?
It does, man. It is.
Yeah. You never know the kind of people that just are just hiding things like that. You know what I mean, dude? And they come out being so nice.
Sunk the whole industry too. So
yeah.
I know, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's true. He as a wrestler, if you just put wrestling, he was one of the best. But dude, but there's old there was that thing where I don't know. Did you ever hear? Dave, why they called him the Canadian Crippler? Did you ever hear the story, or do you know this was Sabu when he broke his? If you ever look this up, Dave, I don't know if you saw it, but he backed Sabu. This was an ECW, and he did a backdrop, and this motherfucker lands right on his head. And I don't think Benoit, I don't know if he didn't see it or it was just, it was kayfabe a little bit more back then, but he didn't give a fuck, man. He was still, he was talking shit to everybody walking.
Yeah. Did you, I don't know how much you want to talk about wrestling. I could do this all night. Did you ever get to see ECW in person?
I did not. No.
Oh, no.
I could only imagine how.
I probably saw it about 5 or 6 times in person. Nothing will ever compare. I peaked at, I think 18 was my last show. That's it. I peaked.
I'll say this about ECW. We had, going back to, because I'm not quite, I'll be 42 this year, so we're about the same age. So, and our computer, we had, so when I was in 7th grade, we got our first computer in the school. So we had one computer in the school. And then the next year, when I was in 8th grade, we actually had like a computer lab. So, this was the Monday Night Wars and everything.
Yeah.
So there was a lot, but somebody, I forget who it was, but somebody started looking up ECW stuff.
Oh no!
And one of the teachers got wind of it. Dude, they had to call at recess. They brought us all into the gym, literally as 8th graders, and told us. They said, "You cannot look up anything." Of this ECW crap, and I will never forget that, dude.
Like, who is this? This is Beulah McGillicuddy. Who's this? Oh, her name's Kimona Wanalea. Like, don't worry about it. It's just professional wrestling.
The guys, they got Balls Mahoney out there doing
insults. Yeah, I feel sorry for the kids that missed out on ECW Live. That was unmatched.
We had the best. We have seen the best era of after era. Like, if you think about of just generations, dude, as kids started, we're all born in the 80s. So we started like when Vince did when Vince consolidated made WWF. Right. We literally saw pretty much the birth of that. I mean, maybe not the very beginning, because we might have been slightly too young, but still, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then it goes from that, and we see the Attitude Era and everything. Like, wrestling. I'm with you, dude. I'd literally. That was like when Slammer was on in that first episode. I know me and Bobby were like, it's just like it's hearing all these stories. Man, he's talking about the Bushwhackers. I'm sitting there I'm like 9 years old again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can do a whole separate podcast on that stuff. Trust me,
dude. No doubt.
So
do you have
what?
Oh, sorry, Dave. Go ahead,
Luke. Go ahead.
I was just going to say to roll into podcasting. Do you ever think about doing it again? Are you ever thinking about actually trying to podcast consistently or getting around to it again?
Yeah. I mean, as you guys do know, it's a lot more work than what people think. Like, this part's fun. It's just everything else is, scheduling and getting on the same page. Yes, I want to. I don't know if you remember, I used to do a podcast called The Future Breakup with a friend of mine up in Boston.
That's what it was, The Future Breakup. Yeah. Because your page was The Wasted 20s, but the podcast was Future Breakup. That's right. Okay. Yes, I remember confusing.
That. Yeah, no. But yeah, we broke up. We saved our friendship. But we've kind of talked recently. We might, I don't know. Solo podcasting seems hard. I don't know if I want to do that, but we'll see. I got time apparently, so maybe.
No, it's tough with solo, because when we took our hiatus, I even thought about times I'm like, I don't know. Then, but it's just, I don't know. When you have when you got a good rapport with somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'd say, Dave's stuck. He's stuck with me. He's stuck with me. So I don't think I could do it without him. It'd be hard to do it solo. But people, depending on what it is, depending on the topics of what you want to talk about, you can do it solo if you have the.
Can I be honest with you guys?
Yeah,
of
course.
Since you talk a lot about the company and all that, there was a time, like, I listened to you guys a lot at first, and then I got to a moment, because we all get so jaded with work. I was like, I can't listen to these guys talk about work while I'm at work. I just can't do it. You just give me like your trauma, giving me more trauma while I'm producing my own and living my own. So I did take a break from you guys too at one point, because I'm like, I can't do it. But then I came back and I'm like, just different mindset. These guys are great.
I will say that and it goes back to the beginning, and I think it may have been Bobby that said it. And I don't know if he even said it on an actual episode or just said it one time. He's like, we're going to work all day. Then, we're coming back and we're just sitting here. We're talking about work, but we're having fun with it, but still talking about UPS. And I understand that. And that was part of why, and I know what Dave's probably about to say, that was part of why we thought about kind of shifting out of that because it's like
I remember that. Yeah.
sort of how much can you go? But then coming back, I feel like we, and Davis said it, and like when we came back, we kind of found a groove with it where it's kind of like as long as we're doing, like if we're both UPS drivers, it's pretty much impossible to there's some episodes where it may only be talked about for 5 or 10 minutes, but it's impossible to probably, just because it's every day. But,
I mean, I hate it for you guys on one aspect, but I like it for myself because now, I guess like the past year, I like the stuff that you guys are talking about. And then now that I'm removed, now it's kind of without listening to my former coworkers bitch about their day, I get to listen to you guys talk about what's kind of going on, like the inside, like you guys are my insiders now. So I'm like, let's see what they're talking about now.
And that's what's kind of funny about it is because starting back up, that was kind of our the change of the mindset that we had about doing this, because obviously when we first started, and I mean in the first side note, in the first 10 episodes, we had somebody message us that was like, you guys need to start complaining about this company more and all this stuff. And the guy was like, and I'm like, dude, you get that at every fucking hub you go to. You'll hear, all you got to do is look to your left and look to your right, and you'll see people bitching about the company. We're not here to bitch about UPS. We're here to maybe complain about, I don't know, the tools they give us, like the fucking diad not working in the rain or some shit. You know what I mean? But but starting back up, starting back up again, it was a thing where the mindset shifted for us where it's okay, let's keep this more of like you said, an insider's thing where hey, this is what's going on right now, and kind of give people a heads up, maybe it hasn't hit your center yet, but it's probably going to, or maybe something that we heard and we heard through the grapevine, oh, there's going to be a second buyout even before the second buyout got announced, you know what I mean? And just because we obviously, the way it is when you have a podcast and you have this source online, you get to know a lot of people. And we've met so many people all over the country that know a lot of what goes on behind closed doors. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, we kind of get that insider, quote unquote, information. If you want to go back to sports terms, insider, you know what I mean? We kind of get that information from people. But yeah, and then going back to when we first started, it was a lot of interviews. It was a lot of interview after interview after interview. And that was mostly because COVID was happening at the time.
Right.
So nobody had, everybody had nothing to do. Everybody was home. So we just kept interviewing people. And we do want to get back to that and having guests back on. So thank you guys for taking your time, buddy. Cause
we absolutely appreciate you coming on because obviously with like David said with COVID, back then I had a 2 months in advance. I've said it so many times. I'm like, dude, I was like, I couldn't imagine. I was sitting there I was saying that to Dave the other day. I said, can you imagine being telling somebody now, say all right, 8 weeks from now, we'll do it then. Okay. But that's where we were living, dude. That's what we were doing.
Yeah.
And that was I was telling, and I'm a big Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I've been a lifelong. I can't really explain it. My dad said I always loved the creamsicle orange uniforms. I think because they had a pirate on their helmet back then. I don't really know what, but they had this thing on the NFL Network of 50 years of Tampa Bay's franchise, and when they got to the 2020 season when they won the Super Bowl, I was telling Dave, 6 years removed from COVID, the shit that I was so after the NFC Championship, they're all in there celebrating, just in the locker room, and nobody's they have their mask in their hands, but everybody's jumping, and they're all jumping around there in close quarters, dude. And then the reporters come in, and everybody's still jumping around. But then when they start to they have somebody recording the reporters, and then when the cameras get up, then everybody puts their masks on, and I'm like, they were literally in this fucking enclosed space with 50 dudes for 10 minutes. I was like, this is what we were living in.
I know. Meanwhile, I'm a Packers fan, so I'm trying to ignore everything you just said because that game.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, you're down by 8. Like, you're not going to go for the touchdown in 2 points. You're gonna give the fuck Brady, right? Okay, cool. That's a good choice. Let's kick a field goal instead. But
I'm so glad. I didn't know you were a Packers fan too. It's so great.
I'm all over the map like you. But yeah, COVID times. We're still at work though. I'm walking into doctor's offices with no mask on because it's 100 degrees outside, and I need to breathe.
I need to. Dude,
Oh God.
we were just talking about it recently. Like, do you remember like when diners and restaurants started opening up again, and they were like, okay, you can only take your mask down, or you can only take your mask off when you sit down to eat.
Did you ever take a flight during COVID?
No.
Oh, it was incredible. It was incredible. like you're standing 5 feet away from each other in TSA with masks on, and then you're sitting next to somebody on a plane. Like, what are we doing here?
Oh my God.
You know what I was thinking? Those Fyre Fest documentaries that came out around that time?
Yeah.
Well, Hulu had one, and Netflix had one.
Yep.
I can't wait for the COVID ones when Hulu's like, competing against Netflix for the best COVID doc.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's gonna be good.
Joe Exotic will reemerge, man. Tiger King's as much as COVID is the Wuhan lab as far
Tiger
as I'm
King was a
concerned.
good one.
I hate talking about COVID, but I'm fascinated. Work was all time. Cut up some
hard not to
t-shirts,
be.
put them over your face. You're good.
Right.
Well,
I mean, did you have any crazy interactions with customers during that time? Like, do you remember any, get away from me, or I'm not touching that box? Did you have any of those?
I thought COVID rocked, man. We didn't get signatures. There was nobody on the road. I think the crazy thing I'd see would people would be spraying their packages after I delivered them.
With Lysol?
Like,
oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Meanwhile, it was in our hands just before. Like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I thought COVID rocked at work. It was great.
The 14-day to flatten the curve part was incredible because there was no traffic, and then people started trickling out, and then traffic started getting shitty again. But dude, that 14-day, maybe I'll say we'll call it 19 days here. Maybe I feel like after day 19, that's when people said they just went back to it. But
fuck it,
it wasn't. I'll say this real quick, and I won't. I'll drop the COVID thing. But my wife was a hypochondriac before COVID, so it was real fun for me. And I would I would get off of work and I would go to the basement.
Like a hazmat shower outside.
Dude, yeah, she would spray me. I was like getting like Shawshank Redemption. I'd put my arms up and she's just spraying me down, and then I was throwing my shit in the basement. Dude, that was every single night. And I had to if I couldn't walk in there, she would freak. And I was like, okay, whatever.
That's how you started the podcast. You're like, all right, I'll go podcast with Dave. It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it essentially is because it went from being a YouTube channel to being a podcast essentially because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man, that's so true.
Hey, let me ask you guys some questions. So, do your bosses know that you guys do this?
Yes.
Do they listen?
Oh yeah. Yes.
I
don't know how much. Sorry,
I've had a center manager say something to me before. I was like, "Go," because I was I'll try to make this short. I was talking about how hard it was for the FMLA people to talk to my center manager to tell me, hey, yes, he's out of work. He's on FMLA. He just had a kid. He's on paternity leave. And it was like pulling strings is what I said. I was like, it's like I said it's like pulling teeth to get both of them to communicate with each other so I can get paid and I can get my check.
Oh, for sure.
And that next week, my center manager came up to me and was like, I love what you had to say about me on your podcast. I was like, I never mentioned your name, bro. I just said, so yes, very aware. But they are very aware.
That is the funny thing with coworkers. Like, they find out the extra stuff that you do outside of work and they judge it. So I imagine your coworkers also listen.
Some.
I got it. I got to tell this story because you obviously know Misty.
Yeah, I was Misty. Yeah.
Misty was our very first guest we had on, and we had the episodes on YouTube then, And I was about to say, shout out. I won't give his government name. I'll give his first name. Shout out to you, Charlie. You're recently retired. He was on the second buyout. But he came storming up the belt, and we had just started, dude. Misty was like, Misty was episode 3, dude. He's storming up the belt, and he said, "Who the fuck is on that? There's no way that's a UPS driver."
She was like episode 17 on my podcast, so yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I had stories of being called up into the office and they like turned around, like, here's your Instagram page. You need to take this stuff down.
Yeah.
So I wondered like what kind of pushback against you guys you might have at times, or if you have had any.
So what's funny is I've never had really any pushback.
They definitely,
you know what I mean?
They definitely, like, if you put in like AI, right, or type in like logistics podcast or delivery, like, you guys pop up. So they definitely know about you.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody gets paid to listen to you guys, for sure.
Oh, 100%. We joked about this. We joked about this before, is that they got someone waiting for us to say something.
Oh, yeah. Some intern is paid, to listen to each episode and report back.
Well, I said maybe the only reason they haven't fucking thrown us under the guillotine was because my wife sent me this screenshot and shows me this thing, and I don't know where she ended up putting this thing in Google, or I don't know what it was. It was some search engine and it was a fact check thing, and it was did Carol Tomei drive Home Depot into the ground? And the video was us, and we literally, because we had looked it up, and she really didn't. She actually grew Home Depot. All that stuff was just kind of rumor, dude, because we believed it for years. I said it for years because I heard it. I was like, yeah, she ran Home Depot in the ground. She really didn't, dude. She did a good job there as far as growing. But that's not a union. It's not UPS. It's different, different business, whatever. I'm just going, but
it's funny, there's a video of our podcast.
When my wife showed me that, I was like, God, I wonder. I was like, of all videos for you to find, I was like, it's a fact check of her. No, I was like, the union would fucking hate this. I was like, they'd be like, these are Teamsters, these fucking assholes talking about.
Yeah, but you got a podcast. You're like, we made it.
Yeah, man. Right. That might be why we've stayed out of the crosshairs. I don't know. But the only thing I've ever gotten in trouble, and honestly, I'll attribute a lot of it to Bobby, because when I first got on Instagram, it was like 2018 when I first got on, and I was kind of late, and I had saw him through Facebook, and anyway, this was before we had started podcasting. We were just knew each other and were messaging and that kind of shit. But he had just gotten in trouble. He had just gotten in trouble with UPS to where
that's when I met him. Yeah.
Yeah. And so from the beginning, I always tried to, and it's funny, and I've said this, and it's funny because I do a delivery podcast. When I first did that Instagram page, because it was my wife that gave me the idea. The whole time, I never did like a personal Instagram page. It was always kind of, the quote unquote nomad delivery guy. And I'd always said that I didn't really want it to be a delivery. I didn't want it to be like a delivery related page. I was a delivery guy, but I wanted to have I was having a conversation with somebody. We were sitting on a bar stool somewhere, but I just happened to be in a UPS truck because I'm driving and I work all the time.
Yeah.
So the whole time that I started that, I was like, I kind of wanted to keep myself distant from, and obviously I didn't do that because I do a fucking podcast, but I mean, it's, I don't do as much. I mean, some of those videos, that account got hacked and got deleted, but man, I did some bad. I wouldn't dare post videos of that content now. Fuck, man. I talked about terrible shit, man. I was talking about spank banks and fucking. I was like, dude, it was terrible, dude.
I won't lie, man. Back before they could track us and all that, we just sent in our stats on how we were doing on the day. I mean, the stuff we'd send back and forth to each other. Now that I look back on, if they they would obviously know with telematics, like why is that truck moving without anybody in it? But yeah, I was just curious about you guys having some blowback or something, because you bringing up Bobby. Shout out to him. I found him about the same time, because I think in like 2017 or 18, I started doing this campaign online for us to get better uniforms, like breathable fabrics and all that stuff. And like 8 months later, we had new uniforms. I'm not saying I was the reason for it, but that's when Bobby reached out. He's like, I love your stuff. And then I see his page. I'm like, oh, he has that market cornered, so I don't need to do that shit anymore. Like, this guy.
No,
He was the guy.
Said,
like
he definitely was. And I always said the hardest I laughed in any video he did to give him some flowers, because we had talked to him today or yesterday. He had the video when he made. He said his truck was on fire and he was calling in the supervisor Rich, and literally it was so subtle. It was so subtle because it literally wasn't a punchline. Really, it was just Supervisor Rich going, "What do you want me to do? I'm a supervisor." I swear, I laughed so hard at that, because I don't even remember what the base of it, but just hearing him go, "What do you want me to do? I'm a supervisor."
I mean, the stuff he was doing, man. You talk about buyouts. It would have not surprised me if the company offered to buy him out, not doing those videos back in the day.
Yeah. Well, that's what, it's kind of funny, and it kind of, because he's kind of unplugged from the social media world now, but he, it's funny because he essentially laid a lot of foundations. Like, I met Dave through him, and the car. So a lot of the cardboard community that we have built, he was the one that laid the foundation, and so even if he's not technically involved anymore, he's still it got started from him, and we'll always give him credit when credit's due. But I don't know, but saying that though, I will say this, because I've noticed, I've not had anything said, but I call it like a hunch or a bad, it's like I feel kind of angry winds at our back, so to speak. Like, I don't want to necessarily say, but I feel like it's coming. Like, I didn't make a response video. I did a video on TikTok, basically when we had the photos, so the photos came back, and then they went away, and they came back again, but they're like a shipper thing. It's a shipper request now. And we had said a couple episodes ago about, saying it was going to be a price gouge, pay extra money and see a picture of the house down the street. Got a good laugh about it. So what I actually made a video on that on TikTok on the podcast page, and I ended up making it. I took it down. It ended up it was tracking because it was gaining. It was one of them ones that, like, you looked at it and it had like 1,000 views, and you look at it again and it had like 8,000. I was like, oh Jesus! Yeah, and then it was one of them ones that it was like I felt like I towed the line a lot more, because I don't care to say it on here because this is our podcast and we're on our own time. But I was like, I had the shield and everything covered, and I didn't mention UPS, but I was like, they fucking did it. They fucking did it. They made it a premium fucking service. And I thought to myself, man, I don't know. That one might be a little too. Let me just take that one down.
Yeah, he's hyped up.
Yeah. I was like, I can't, because I literally, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. They really did it. Now somebody's paying extra for this shit. But we found out that it was a shipper request.
Have you guys ever done like a controversial, take kind of to your point right there, and then the next week you're just blown out at work? It's just like, this can't be, there's something, like somebody made a call. Like, just love these suckers down this week.
So before the podcast, it was before the podcast. It was when I just started on Insta. It was 2018, but I would share. I had a Facebook page, whenever Facebook came out, 2004 or 5, whatever it was. I had a Facebook page from when I was in college, and I kept it. That was my personal, still is my personal Facebook page, and I have they're all retired now, but I had managers that were Facebook friends with me. And what I didn't realize, like with Instagram at first, I didn't really think about it because I just started the page, and I did like a singing video, and I would post it, and it would automatically share to my Facebook page. So it was, I would always do it. I would do it at the end of the day. It was always like, I would do it on break, obviously, and that was all, legit. But every fucking day, the next day, when I would post a singing video, and people on Facebook loved it. They'd be like, "Oh, look, we didn't know you could sing. This is great." Blah blah blah. And every time, dude, the next day I was slammed. And my center manager was Facebook friends with me. I had other Aldreds that were Facebook friends with me. I never had
That's
proof,
like rule number one.
But I guarantee you, they were like, "Oh, you're happy? You're singing, motherfucker."
No.
Yeah, dude.
Smiles. No.
And I literally quit. I quit posting. I ended up making a separated. I realized quick. I was like, I got to separate Instagram because I don't use my real name on Instagram. It just has like the Nomad or whatever. So I always kept it separate. So yeah, once I realized, I was like, every time I post this on Facebook, the next day I'm like working fucking 12, 13 hours. I think there's a trend here. So yeah, I quit posting shit on Facebook. But
I think I had some tweets back in the day. It was the same thing. Like I just fired off some tweets, and somehow I don't know. Some management got a hold of them.
Oh,
I mean, the only thing I ever had was, the very first Christmas song I did, and I did UPS is Coming to Town,
which will be popular,
right? And I made a video for that too, a full like music video for it. And both my on-car supervisors and my center manager was like, "Dude, this song is great. You should do a video of it." And I had all these ideas. I was like, "Yo, we can like set up like the GoPro camera, like mounted to like a decoy box, and put it on the belt during preload, and it just goes down the belt, and and I'll fast forward it so it goes quick, and then I'll have a loader pick it up, load it in truck." Well, this video, it got over like 10,000 views in like less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it got to where my district manager saw it. He called my center manager. My center manager called me at 10:30 at night, and I was in bed. And he's like, "Hey, listen, I just got a phone call from my boss. I need you to take that video down." And meanwhile, it was like their idea for me to make a video too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's like, "I need you to take that video down." I was like, "Shit." I was like, "All right." Yeah.
Your division manager was like, "Yeah, this is hilarious. Have him do it at PCM."
Hey.
I'll be there.
Yeah, right.
It's hilarious, Dave.
Exactly.
Love the song.
But like, really, that was the only pushback. And like, I don't know if it's because with this podcast, like I said in the beginning, like we never complain, we never bitch about UPS. As a whole.
Get real. Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Conversation.
Right, exactly. And it's just like I said, we'll bitch about the dyad, we'll bitch about the cameras yelling at us all day long, and allegedly.
Not me.
But like, and
the intern's taking notes right now. It's the part where they talk about not complaining.
They're like,
yeah. They still haven't. They're taking notes. They're still forgetting. They're still putting Western Virginia instead of West Virginia because we haven't. I haven't got Linux cameras yet. I was like, they just forget. They forget we're a state. They said they've doubled up in Virginia and forgot.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Shout out to the intern Clint up in Atlanta listening to the podcast, giving all the dirt to.
Yeah,
dude. I do have to ask this. I have to before I know we when we say an hour, sometimes we go an hour-ish, if that's okay. Just say. But I got to bring this up because like I said, I was asking you if you were a Michigan fan, and I'm not going to really talk about me because I've been kind of cast out because I'll tell you, my mom's family was from Ohio, so they were Cleveland Browns and Ohio State Buckeye fans. Luckily, I did not become a Cleveland Browns fan and dodge that fucking bullet. But I ended up liking Ohio State. But being from West Virginia, man, I got shit on bad for that. So it was like, but I will say, like, I'm not a fan, you being a Michigan guy, I've never been a fan of Urban Meyer. I couldn't stand him, man. When he was at Florida, I loathed him. So when they were having the most success, I was sitting there kind of like, yeah, whatever. But I got to ask, because of Rich Rodriguez and being a fan of Rich Rod, or not Rich Rod, being a fan of Michigan. Sorry, being a fan of Michigan. Yeah. So as a fan, so I'm going to just summarize this for the people that don't know. West Virginia was playing. They had one game to win to go to the national championship against our rival Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. We were 28-point favorites. We were favored by 4 fucking touchdowns.
Steve Slayton, Pat White,
nasty, best God, and we blew it. We lost 13-9. We had Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has me blocked on Twitter to this day. That's and okay. I've even apologized. I was so mad at him, and I'm blocked. He still has me blocked, and I didn't even know it for the longest time. But that's a whole nother story. But I will say, Pat McAfee missing 2 chip shot field goals, while the game shouldn't have been on his shoulders, he was still good enough to get drafted. That will always piss me off. If I ever see him in person, I'm going to say, dude, I love what you're doing. I love that you are bringing attention and money to the university. I love you. But, dude, you were good enough that you shouldn't have fucking missed anyway. So we lose that game, and then like a week later, Rich Rod announces he's going to Michigan. Yeah. So, I mean, West Virginia base was pretty bitter. But as a Michigan fan, because I read a book, and I can't remember the dude it was called 3 and Out, because Rich Rod was there for 3 years.
Yep.
And they had said that the Michigan base did not they weren't ready. They weren't a fan of Rich Rod because
he was an outsider. He wasn't a Michigan man, that's their big thing up there.
So you, for you being a fan of them, how did you feel about Rod? Were you excited for it?
Oh yeah, I was fired up because so we wanted Les Miles, right? I can't say we. Michigan wanted Les Miles. There's a sign at game day that I remember seeing. It was like, why get a car? Because Lloyd Carr was the coach at the time. They're like, why get a car with Les Miles when you can get Rich from Rich Rodriguez? And I'm like, yes, we're gonna run this spread at Michigan. This is gonna be awesome. And then for 3 years, my cousins and I just talked ourselves into, this is gonna work. It's gonna work. I went to a game in person against Penn State. I was like, this isn't going to work. It's not working. It was miserable. He was terrible. There. He should have stayed away. Yeah.
I will say to not get I think that I love that he's a hard ass, but I think this era, I don't know. With the way the portal is and everything and how easy it is to try, I don't want to say the game has passed him by. If he can find players to buy into what he does, they will be good. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do that the way that he did back then, because it was just a different era, and I can't. He's not going to change. But I loved him. I was pissed for a long time, but I forgave him. It was over. You can't be bitter about it forever. The only thing that makes me mad, I was like, that's it. Now with the way that's set up, we're probably never going to win a national championship. So that was like our one chance we probably had. But I don't know. Maybe we can make a run in the playoffs and surprise. But I was when I saw the first, I don't even remember when it was. It was years back, and I saw like an Insta story of yours, and he had a Michigan hat on, and I remember thinking then, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I got to ask this guy about Rich Rod, however long ago that was, because I told Dave, this has been, we talked about before to get you on. It's been I don't want to say work in progress because it was a long time ago, but we did. But I'm glad we were able to work it out and get you to come on. But dude, I learned that the Chris Benoit thing is going to blow my mind. I'm probably going to message you randomly for, here and there to be like, dude, I can't believe you fucking delivered there.
I mean, I'd leave the stuff at the gate because he had one, but it's what you can feel it driving down the street, and you have to take these dirt roads to get there too before his neighborhood.
Oh,
so it's
eerie.
It's pretty weird. Yeah, pretty weird.
But I had a couple questions, and then we'll wrap this one up. I think. You hugged Avril Lavigne?
Oh yeah, I was 18. Yeah. They were doing a free concert in Atlanta. She was coming out of a porta potty. I was trying to check out the backstage area. Yeah, she was handing out a few hugs. Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, sick. I don't know. She might have been like 16 at the time though, so I don't know if it's like.
So like.
You know what I mean?
So like, was her first album out by that time?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What was it?
She had Skater Boy.
No, the first one.
Why you have to
Complicated?
Complicated. Yeah, Complicated was hitting MTV. So
yeah. So she was just blowing
up.
up.
A dope concert. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh hell yeah! I'm sure
she's good. She's good.
That's fucking awesome. Last but not least, with 23 years in the company, I'm sure you've had some crazy helpers throughout your years.
Yeah, I've actually made some good ones too.
Of course,
they're still friends.
There's always the good ones, but do you have any fun, wild helper stories? Did you leave any on the side of the road? Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few that I think we went out for about a half hour. I said, I think this is it for today. They didn't really put me down for enough time with you. So they're like, well, what about tomorrow? I'm like, we'll totally figure that out, work the center, but I don't really have too many crazy helper stories, honestly.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. That's just using one, I think in 2018, I just said, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's like with me, dude. They quit like even before COVID. They just kind of let me my route was. I had a van one year, and then after that, they just kind of let it go. And yeah, I've been able to avoid it for. But we had. I mean, that was another thing we were saying because that was another one with Misty. First guest ever, she had the pig fucker helper that told her that the guy fucked pigs, and I thought we were sitting there thinking the other day man, we gotta start asking helper stories again.
You got to get in the truck with her, and that's what you want to talk about,
right, dude? And we what was great was when we saw a picture of that guy. She had sent us a picture of him, and it literally was a thing that if a guy that would fucking bang pigs, that would be what I would I hate to say that it checks out that you could look at a guy, but it's after she said it. I don't think I would look. I would have probably looked at him and be like, hey, this guy looks a little off. I wouldn't have thought he's banging pigs, but still,
It's like, I think this was our last stop, buddy.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. But dude, it's funny because with her, she wasn't even fucking. I don't know. She maybe in the moment she was a little phased, but she must have played it all right. I mean, she obviously got out of there. Or she probably could have whipped the dudes. I don't know. I remember right, Dave, that dude looked pretty big.
I mean, you got to have a good sense of humor for this job. So,
Oh, absolutely.
And her being there as long as she has been, I'm sure she was probably it probably didn't even faze her. It was probably just
not.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, fuck, here we go again.
Well, just to show how different times are when you talk about interns listening to this podcast and having these plants, shame on whatever driver did this to her because she got in trouble for her tattoos showing.
Oh,
and
no,
it was from another driver. Another driver turned her in. And somebody saw her on social media. It did
she's
did
wearing
the effort.
The Iverson sleeves, at work.
Made enough effort to go to the networks to find out where, I thought, damn, that's a petty fucking guy. Whoever that was, man. They should have given him a fucking spot on the board of directors right then on the spot.
Want to boost my stop count? Yeah, we got this lady in California. Let me show you this. That's crazy.
Oh, shit. Vince. Thank you so much, buddy, for your time. I appreciate it, man. It's been great to finally get you on.
Absolutely.
I know you already had a few questions for us, but we always like to wrap it up with that. Do you have any more questions for us?
Oh, yeah. How many more episodes are you guys doing?
Holy shit!
I think we're gonna run till the wheels fall off.
I think when the strike happens in 27 or 28 and the picket lines, I think you guys need to do live
Dude, that
microphone
might be-
podcasts, you know?
That would be sick with like
Well,
people that are out there on
nice.
the picket lines.
I think we said. That's a good
idea.
I think we had said that for the 20, if it would go on strike, or it would just fall to shit. We would do a live podcast and be like the band on the Titanic playing the music just cause the ship's sinking. But I'll say this: if we wouldn't have taken the time off that we did, we wouldn't be at 203. I think we can both say that. I think, as long as life allows, because just the old, Dave's boys are getting older. My daughter's getting older. There's times I think
We're getting older.
we're also unfortunately getting fucking older. Like when he said that about Avril Lavigne, the song was coming out on MTV. I was thinking in my head, I was like, God, we're fucking old. But I just guess it just seems so long. Like to say that, like if you said that to like a 20-year-old now, they'd be like, what?
But
like MTV, what? But they, I don't know. I mean, yeah, as long as everything works out and we're able to do it, I think, and there's an audience there, we had, just, it's little things with, when there's times when people reach out, and it's not like it's all the time, but you have just certain moments where, and it's, somebody, well, you were in it for 23 years. You know how, there's some people that the job really gets to because, and I'm not trying to say that they're not as, dude, it really does.
Into the decision, yeah.
Yeah. And to hear somebody that'll say like, just to have, because knowing how this, because you're alone, you're in the truck, you're by yourself, you're alone with your thoughts. And
Right.
when you hear somebody that'll say something like just getting a laugh through whatever, or, just when you hear positive outreach from anybody, that makes it, that for me makes it worth it more than probably anything of, as far as gaining, listenership and anything like that. It's like, if we have any, when you hear something like that, it's like, it really, and it's something that I've grown to love to do. And, I know Dave does too. And it's just like, as long as we can, we'll go, with episode, if we make it to episode 300, we'll try to round some more people up. And that, like, my goal is far-fetched as it is, because it's just logistically would be impossible. I would love to figure out something to have people get together through that we've met over the years through here and just find, but it's like, where to even begin with that? Where would you go? You would have to,
we're going to Slammer's place. We gotta link.
Hell yeah.
I'm there.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
We go get in a ring.
Can you imagine if we all showed up to support him one night at a wrestling match? That'd be sick.
dude.
Oh, I think that's
That'd
it
be
right
sick.
there.
I know.
That's
We'd
it.
fill up a fucking whole section
Dude.
of everybody. It'd be
Oh
awesome.
my God.
He's gonna
Now
win
we
like
got-
St. Louis Championship Wrestling World Title, and we'll all just be there.
Let's go, buddy.
Dude, holy shit, that's
Let's
an
go.
idea.
That is
an
a great
idea.
idea.
Do you imagine? We'll have to. We got
Slammer, message us, buddy. Message
we got
us,
it,
Slammer.
dude. We could even make it
Come
a
on.
surprise, dude, because we got Paige. We could figure out the schedule and just show up one time, dude. Holy shit!
I want to
That'd
be
be
his
wild,
manager. Just do a random run-in. Right before he draws.
Hell yeah.
Just
Hell yeah.
dude.
Go up there,
He,
clotheslines some dudes.
When he had said there was something else that he speaks with Bushwhacker Luke pretty on the regular. And I know he had said that there was even a time, looks like, but I mean, he's like 70 something years old now, so he's not obviously active wrestling, but I know there was a time he was trying to get him to where it would be like a tag match, just to have him, come down bushwhacker style and just stand up there.
It wasn't good.
Dude, I swear when he said that about the bushwhackers, that was my biggest. My name being Luke, I was a huge bushwhacker Luke fan.
Yeah.
And then the Slammer wrestling match, that would be fitting. I would fucking love that.
I think I'm in for that one. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
For him to
But to answer your question though, how much longer? And just like Luke said too, and I'll talk about it quick too, is because we do get messages from people that say like, hey, thank you so much for like what you do. It really gets me through the day out here, and this job can be so stressful sometimes. We all know that, obviously. And then most recently, what Luke and I are going to mention at the top here, because we're going to record an introduction separately after we get done with you.
Yeah.
And there was a driver that passed away, like Luke was talking about, in California, who we had on, and his brother actually reached out to us and said, thank you guys so much for having my brother on here, because I get to listen to him as happy as he was back in that time. And, it's not the way it was, the last year or so with whatever demons he was battling. You know what I mean? And whatever struggles he was going through. So, like, because there's people that, like, save voicemails from loved ones and they listen to them, like after they pass. So, like, hearing that is something Luke and I never even thought about.
Yeah. That was
like
something
when we're
that,
doing
like,
this it's right. We don't think about like someone's going to come back and listen because, this their loved one passed away and they get to hear their voice for a whole hour.
And you captured their voice in a positive manner, and they can always go back and hear that. Yeah, no,
exactly.
It's great.
Exactly. So it's just stuff like that now, dude. It's just like, it just really keeps pushing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah. I think my hope for you guys, honestly, is that you hold off long enough for this cease and desist letter to ever come, and just like the buyout letters, Dave, that you burned. I want to see you burn that, come back on here, and just, Wolf of Wall Street, we're not leaving. just go from there. And then on-time episode, for sure.
Hell yeah. On that note, we're going to wrap it up. I love that idea. So, Vince, thank you so much. Guys, go check him out on Instagram at Avenue. It's spelled AVEN, the number 2 UE. And also Vince Schmit, I think is it V?
Yeah, we'll avoid that
Schmit?
one. Hey, okay. You're just going to know on that one.
Yeah. Okay. So go check out all of his artwork. You also have an Etsy shop. We didn't mention that. Do you have an Etsy shop where you sell some stuff?
I do. So long story short, somebody recorded me at work 2 years ago. The thing went viral on TikTok. It was like 800,000 views. So I was like, what do I do with this? Sell art, have art in 16 different states. I'm an artist now. It's weird. But
hell yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. So guys, go check that out. Vince, thank you again, buddy, for coming on. Don't go anywhere. Let's say goodbye off air here. So just hang tight. Luke, buddy.
Hey, for Wolf of Wall Street, say, I'm not fucking leaving.
Guys, thank you for joining us. Everybody, see you all next week.
Later, everybody.